the 31st Anglo-French War. Looking this up, I thought I was going to call it like the 8th Anglo-French War. I didn't realize how based we were. So apparently we've been at war with France 30 times in our history. Good God, that's cool. So then there's this one, the one that's being declared currently, is the 31st by the looks of it. So, So the first thing I wanted to mention was that the how this came about. So what's happening is that the French have threatened to cut off electricity to Jersey, as Josh reports on lotuseaters.com.
Mm-hmm.
It's that they have some dispute about fishing licenses or something, because the Norman authority for this, Normandy, has fishing licenses to fish in Jersey's waters, and they're having a dispute because Brexit, and therefore things change.
Yeah.
And the French are salty that things have changed. So they say in here, the French government has threatened to cut off electricity to the island of Jersey in retaliation for an ongoing dispute about the fishing rights in Jersey's waters. The dispute emerged after a new licensing system was introduced for French fishing boats by the government of Jersey as part of the UK-EU Trade and Cooperation Agreement. Also, maybe Americans, sorry to call you out, but might not know, we have two islands, that's Jersey and Guernsey, off the French coast that are English. So that's why all of their electricity comes from France, because that's just where they are. So as Josh points out,
they're quite far away from the UK.
Yeah, so as Josh points out, it's 95% of all Jersey's electricity comes from France, from underseas cables. So the External Relations Minister for Jersey issued a statement in response to this, saying, "It would seem disproportionate to cut off electricity for the sake of needing to provide extra details so we can refine the licenses." I mean, he's not wrong.
No.
Like, hey, we think your licensing system's a bit wrong. Okay, well, let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, how dare you? We're going to cut off the electricity. Screw you. Let your children freeze to death. Okay, France, being totally normal. So, there's another quote in here. So, Jersey is a self-governing crown dependency. The UK Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs issued a statement which said, "We are clear that Jersey is responsible for its own territorial waters." So the idea being that it's their territorial waters. If they want to set the limits for when you can fish, it's up to them.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you going to do? Argue with that? That's
Yeah.
completely coherent, totally legal, totally makes sense. So what was the French response? The French, it was the guy from Normandy issued a response saying that this is absolutely unacceptable. Where the ships can go and where they can't go. If we accept this for Jersey, we would imperil our access everywhere. Yeah?
Everywhere.
But like they're asking you, hey, play by our rules in our waters, and you're like, no, we can't accept this. This would screw us over everywhere else. I'm like, well, what are you doing everywhere else? Like, surely you should be playing by the rules. I don't know what kind of response that is to a statement that you should just respect whatever Jersey wants in their waters. So, in response, a bunch of salty French fishermen decided they would stage a protest, as they called it, outside the port at Jersey. This quickly got pointed out that it kind of looked like a blockade, because they were saying they were going to stop people coming in and out of the port. So if you get the Reuters up, so the Reuters article, they go down and they ask the salty French fishermen why they're so salty and what they're doing. And he's like, well, why are you doing this blockade? And the Frenchman responds with, "This is not a blockade. It's not our objective to smash stuff up." Why are you?
Well, these are the guys with the red smoke.
Yeah, like why are you forming a huge crowd around the port then? I mean, kind of looks like a blockade. I don't know what else you'd call that. Which you're saying that you're going to stop people going out because you're salty about the fact that things change, and therefore your licenses have changed, and you have no right to these waters. They're not yours. They're Jersey's waters.
So this is French fishermen doing this?
Yeah, French fishermen.
Right.
So it's not the French government. It's individuals who decide to do this. So as the British, I mean, when the French start saying they're going to blockade ports, the British government have done the right thing and decided to send a few gunboats down there to just keep an eye on things. So the Downing Street has said that these naval vessels are going there to monitor the situation. The operation is also known as Keep an Eye on the Frenchies. So these are two gunboats that are going to go down there and just stare at them, and if they do anything wrong, I assume blow them to smithereens, as they should. So the response from this is interesting, because you see a bunch of EU files in the UK are freaking out, and they're like, how can you do this? How can you dare defend Britain? So there's one guy I just found who summed it up perfectly. So if you get the Adam Toner Radkin status tweet up. So he's a guy complaining about the fact that we're using gunboat diplomacy. Should be the next one, John. No, I think you're missing a link. You've got to go to the gunboat diplomacy section. So this is some EU Europhile complaining about the whole thing. So get it up just so I can read it, because I didn't write the whole thing down. So, is that the wrong tweet? Oh, I put the wrong tweet in there. That's my bad. Okay, anyway, it's some Europhile complaining that we've gone back to gunboat diplomacy and why are we back at the Empire? And it's like, and? Like, that's a bad thing.
No, it's
Like,
not.
French turn up, blockade your port, so you go down there, send the gunboats.
Yeah.
What are you meant to do?
Send the Royal Marines armed with longbows to the beaches as well, I say.
Yeah. So one of the funny responses is apparently the British have responded by being totally mature and totally standard, which is to say that Macron has small dick energy. So if you get the next thing up, this is Politics for All reporting that a government official has said that French President Emmanuel Macron has small dick energy for being so angry about this. And the reason for saying that was that the French have decided to send warships of their own to go and monitor their fishermen. I love how it's sort of undermining their own protests, like, you guys can't be trusted. So if you get the next link up, this is the French saying that they're going to send 2 boats, so they've sent 2 boats out there to also keep an eye on the situation. But who are they keeping an eye on? The island of Jersey? No, they're keeping an eye on the French fishermen, so they're also participating in Operation Keep an Eye on the French.
Yeah.
So good for the French for joining the British.
I think they're scared of their own people at the moment anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, but also the idea that, the British are totally in the wrong for sending warships to keep an eye on them. It's like, yeah, but the French are also doing it. So what's the problem?
Yeah.
Like, no one seems at fault here. Just got to keep an eye on these fishy fishermen. So the responses from the fishy fishermen, or at least their port authority in Normandy, has been perfectly normal as well. So we go to the next one, Disclosed TV. Quote from him: "We are ready for war. We can bring Jersey to its knees." Like, the guy in charge of Normandy is like, yeah, wartime, war. Like, I want to declare war on England, and just I imagine Macron sitting there like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Like, I've got Islamo leftists to deal with, and you're bringing this stuff up. And like, I want to declare war on some islands because some fishermen are mad about the fact that they can't steal fish. Oh, God. So in response, of course, the hashtag that was trending was War with France, which yeah, why not? I guess I couldn't come at a better time.
Yeah.
I mean, we're having a local election today, so a bit of nationalist sentiment. Why not? Of course, if it harms the Labour Party, it's good in my mind, so let's go with that. And it seems some of the guys on the island agree that this yeah, why not? Let's have a laugh. So this is some reenactor on the island decided to dress up as a militiaman and fire off a musket at the French.
Good man.
I just love the idea that he's just some like 60-year-old or something, and he's just like, yeah, sounds fun. Fuck up, Frenchie. Death to Napoleon. Oh, goddamn musket.
It's quite interesting that that France is it seems to be on the brink of revolution, and they're trying to take pot shots at us.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's more just a local thing.
Yeah.
Like, the locals are pissed off, but the fact that they're
This thing is quite poetic.
the guy in charge of Normandy's backing them up with, "We'll declare war on
Yeah,
England."
yeah.
Will you now? Oh. But the only other thing that I've seen there, which was kind of interesting, was if you can go to the next link, which is that the government have had a couple of leaks out of this. So if you don't know, when the Germans took France over, they also took the islands, and it's a weird like parallel world you can look back into if the Germans conquered
They
England.
built a load of fortifications there.
Yeah, but it's an example of if the Germans conquered England, what would it look like?
Right.
What would Nazi Britain look like?
Yeah.
In which the police turn into agents of the state. I think they stole some Jews from there and killed them as well. Fucking
Really?
Germans.
I think they had quite a lot of Jewish slaves on Jersey.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, goddamn.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the government source here who was talking about the whole thing is quoted as saying, at least when the Germans invaded, they kept the lights on because, of course, the French are trying to get rid of the electricity. And I just think the whole thing's really funny. Like, I don't think this is going to go anywhere. They'll have their stupid protest. They'll be salty about it, as they always are.
Yeah.
And then they'll be told, no, this is the law, sod off. We're not the French government. We're not going to buckle to you. And then they'll go home, they'll renegotiate licenses, and the warships will go home. I don't think this is going to turn into a full-scale war.
No.
God, it's weird that they want it to. Like the Normans saying, we're ready to declare war on Jersey. We're going to take it. Like, we're going to storm the beaches, lads, or something.
It would be interesting to see who would win in the naval war between...
I've seen, there's a guy called Binkov who does...
Yeah, I know.
You know him,
yeah.
He did a few examples of Britain versus France. If there's no nukes, no one wins. If there's nukes, everyone loses.
Yeah.
Because that's how that works. But because
I think we're pretty much equally matched.
Yeah, but because we're more densely populated, if a bunch of nukes go off here, it's worse for us. At least than the Frenchies, but
Yeah.
probably survive nuclear radiation, damn frogs. So one of the things, we did an episode with Baudet in which we did a bit of a white pill, and I felt like we might as well end this on a bit of a white pill.
Right.
I mean, if war with France isn't a white pill enough, I don't know what's wrong with you, but in case you want it, let's go to the jet suits. So this is something I found people posting in response, like, let's just get the jet suits and go down there. I didn't know this was real. Like, this is a thing that was invented a few years ago. So
I've seen these things.
If we can play clip 3 just to demonstrate what these are. How cool is that? Like, for people who are listening, it's so he's taking off from these boats behind a Royal Navy warship, and he just like floats
like an
off.
Iron Man suit.
Yeah, like an little Iron Man suit. Jets. It's not attached to the water.
Do you think they're actually training these guys? Let's do this.
What do you mean?
Then,
Yeah, I mean this was posted on the Twitter page, the Royal Navy's. They're celebrating. So the idea is essentially this is for like pirate vessels. So. How cool is that?
there's a similar video. I don't know if you've seen it. It's another Royal Navy guy, and I think they're somewhere in the Gulf of Mexico. And he goes up alongside this like American diplomatic ship. They got this big party going on. It's just a British guy like zooming around this like boat with all these American senators and things on. It's quite funny.
What, in a gravity suit?
Yeah.
So I didn't know anything about these, so I decided to look up the company and whatnot. I assumed like some American company made these, and then we bought a few or something.
Right.
Yeah, it turns out apparently not. So the founder of the company is a British ex-Royal Marine reservist. So he used to be in the Royal Marines as a reservist, and then was like, hey, this would be interesting. So he decided to invent these jet suits, and then he's selling them to the British military. Apparently you can buy them on the website. At least you can apply to buy one because it's like a luxury product. So you like Porsche or something, you apply and then maybe you get it because they're difficult. But also he's based his company in Salisbury, which is just like
Salisbury.
Yeah, it's like it's just cute. Like I like it. Yeah. Like, this little historic
not too far from us.
City. For people who may be foreign, you most likely know it for the poisoning. So the Russian
the
Russian tourists. We are here to see the Salisbury Spire. Okay. Exactly 150-meter tour. We are here to see this. Yeah, okay. Like, you clearly just poison these guys, but whatever. So that's that. And I just think it's really nice. Like, hey, we don't do enough white pills, so I mean, why not?
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Be interesting to see if they're using combat or.
Yeah. So I see John's just loaded up a story here. So apparently the situation, because it's developing as we do this podcast. So a French trawler has decided to ram a UK boat and then chased off as the standoff in the channel gets worse.
Chased off isn't particularly.
I don't know. Does it say
out
that
of ordinary for French though? Is it?
It tried to ram the British warship, or did it just try to ram some British fisherman ship? It's a fishing ship. Okay, so the French salty fishermen have decided to start ramming British fishermen who tried to leave. So I mean that's a blockade. What else do you call that? If they're just trying to stop people from leaving, in which case Royal Navy. Do your duty.
If
No
you enjoyed
shells.
this segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can watch the full broadcast live every weekday at 1 p.m. UK time on lotuseaters.com.